Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Last post we talked about the movie American Sniper. In this post, I thought we would talk about the movie Gray State. At first, I wasn't going to do a post on this, but then I realized it's got some buzz around it. On my written blog, it's my most visited post over the last 2 days. So people have been interested in it. I decided I would do a post, and I noticed that my perspective is a lot different than the other perspectives that are being put out there right now. The common perspective is the way Alex Jones presented it yesterday on his show InfoWars. For those of you who don't know, I've already done a video and several blog posts about Alex Jones and InfoWars. They are coded with all the same gematria and numerology of the rest of the gang of 33. Alex Jones equals 33. Genesis equals 33. He's on the Genesis radio network. He also has lots of 42 coding. InfoWars equals 42. Alex Jones with the S exception equals 42. The word Alex in simple English gematria is 42. And there's a whole lot more. If you look at the articles, so often even the headlines of his have the same type of coded numerology as we see with CNN and the other major networks. Even this guy doing the reporting on this story, the death of this movie director, his name sums to 44. So this place, InfoWars, it's no different than CNN. They are just going for a different market segment. They're capturing the people who are looking for truth harder. And essentially what they're doing is they're capturing those people and leading them astray. Capturing their minds, leading them astray. That's why Alex Jones and all these shills are out here, to mislead the truth seekers. So anyway, let's look at this story. The movie was called Gray State. If you read the reporting, they make it seem like it might not come out now. Maybe it's not going to come out. Even before he died, it was possibly not going to come out. The gematria of Gray State is 44, just like the word kill. The other movie that was in the media a lot recently was The Interview, which was all coded with gematria. It supposedly cost $44 million to make. It had a $44 million budget. When I started reading this story, just the names and the words started to stand out. The main story is about this guy, David Crowley, who was found murdered with his wife and their daughter. I mean, just right there, boom. For most people, that's just going to hit home. Imagine that. A young couple married and their young daughter, that's horrible. So where I'm going with this truth seeker is what I'm saying is this is just another one of these made up stories meant to capture our minds and plant another lie in our heads. And right away they're grabbing us with the death of his entire family. And it's not to say that these things don't happen in the real world. I just think that our media is giving us a lot of these stories to really shock us and put something in our brain. Look at the other names in this film. His name was Crowley, like Aleister Crowley, who wrote Magic Book 4. Talked a lot about the occult religion Thelema that he claimed world elite were worshiping. It has to do with the number 93, worshiping the number 93. And if you watch this blog, video blog, or read my written blog, I have discussed much about 93, from the 93 World Trade Center bombings to Flight 93 of 33 passengers, to so much more. This is a number that gets coded all the time. 93 was very important in Sandy Hook. That Dr. H. Wayne Carver, that name as they presented on the screen, sums to 93. These are just the numbers that they continue to code over and over. And then you just look at the names here. Look at these names, Truth Seeker. Miller, a name we see all the time in the hoaxes because it has 33 numerology. Charles, a name we see all the time, 39, these important numbers. There's lots of master numerology within these names, but just even look at it without even decoding it. Mason. Mason. Of course there's a Mason. And, you know, it just stinks, Truth Seeker. There's something about this story that just stinks. And in a second we'll watch the trailer. See if you read the story and take the time to read the story, it makes it seem like kind of it's a low budget film. It doesn't look that way at all. This is supposed to be them, the murdered couple. If they were murdered and I'm mistaken, I mean, it's tragic. But I think instead they're trying to appeal to us with more lies. And the message behind the lie is don't make anything that questions the government. If you question the government, you might end up dead. Let's watch the trailer to this movie.
Transaction approved.
No, they're here already.
Tommy.
Since last night's declaration of martial law, the soldiers have remained secure key areas in all major
In response to UN presence in Minneapolis.
Last night I dreamt about how things were.
Of every enemy of the state!
And then I woke up here.
All right, True Seeker. So supposedly that's the movie he was working on and could not get out. But I mean, just from seeing that trailer, I mean, that looks like a pretty well polished and ready to go movie. And you know, I just think it's possibly like that other trailer they're giving us right now, San Andreas, with all the coded numerology of 49. These might be movies that are never intended to release, or just trailers that were just made just to be trailers with corresponding stories, just meant to get out further mental preparation. In the past year, I've seen all sorts of stuff I've never seen on television before. These docudramas preparing us for a world that looks like this. Last year on the National Geographic Channel and on the History Channel, both in the UK and in the United States, they ran separate ones, unique for each country, showing fallouts like this and how to prepare to live in it. And both of them had to do with power outages. They were both caused by massive national power outages. So there's just lots of this Truth Seeker, and I suspect this guy right here, David Crowley, I suspect he's alive and well. Perhaps that was just the name chosen for the hoax. I just think this is how they hoax us, from all angles. We're hoaxed so much, we're lied to so much, that at the end of the day, we just don't know what to believe anymore. And, but if you can keep it all in focus and see the main narrative, you can figure out what they're trying to do. So I'm just trying to bring a little clarity through on this. Most people are out there saying, this poor David Crowley, he was murdered for speaking out, trying to bring light on an important subject by making this movie. I'm saying, I don't think so. I think this is the establishment making the movie, and now the story about the director and man behind it. Just so people go out and present exactly what they are presenting. Look, if you speak out, you might die. We got to bring awareness to this. from Michael Hastings to so many others. I think these people all might be faking their deaths. All right. Until next time, Truth Seeker.